I had the privilege to speak at the Sales 2.0 conference, and I spoke on, or I gave a message entitled Outside In, where sales and strategy meet. And the gist of the message was that in the past, we've been an inside out sales organization where we've really focused on our products and services and then trying our best to educate our customers on how great our products and services are, what the features are, what the benefits are. As we move to the new economy, we need to change gears and we need to become outside in sales organizations. And what that means is we first need to start with our customers and really focus on understanding our customers. And then based on that understanding and understanding them strategically, and then based on that strategic understanding, work backwards and then see how can we help them strategically. What products and services and capabilities can we offer that really make sense? Now, fundamental to that shift is really deciding what business model are we playing. And there are two business models that are highly profitable. One is what I call the fast food business model. The other is the gourmet business model, and both work. What doesn't work is playing in the middle. Let me explain. The transactional model really, in fact, both models understand that they're not selling food. The fast food model is selling time. They understand that their customers are hungry, they have other things to do, they need to get in and out and satisfy their hunger as quickly as possible, and they're unwilling to pay, and so we need to provide the service as cheaply as possible. That's fast food. Gourmet is not selling food either. They understand that they're selling an experience. They need to understand who's coming, why they're coming, what the special occasion is, who's going to be involved and what it means, what the occasion means to them, and they need to tailor the experience to hit the sweet spot and provide an experience that's fulfilling to everybody involved. In that case as well, they understand they're not selling food. In the first case, they'll have an ad. I heard an ad, two can dine for $1.99, which seems unheard of. But when you're focused on being a commodity, you take as much cost out of the system as possible, you automate as much as possible, and then you're able to offer these prices that really lead your industry and have everybody else scrambling trying to catch up and the customer preferring you because they're unwilling to pay and you've been able to satisfy a need as cheaply as possible. In the other case, two might dine for $1,000 and walk away and be very happy with the experience. And the reason is they had a special occasion that they were celebrating, and the establishment just tailored the service and made it very special and memorable for them. And they weren't just providing a meal, they were helping to create a memory. Now, where we get in trouble is when we're trying to play in the middle. Playing in the middle means we really don't understand our customer. We understand our products, we understand the benefits of the products, we understand the technical features of our products, and we try to educate the customer on these technical features. And we know that, or we fear that, our competitors could do more or less an equal job in providing whatever it is we're providing. So then we focus on providing value-added services. These value-added services include technical expertise, engineering expertise, or maybe even providing engineers on site. In any case, we're looking at all these different ways, training and education, that we can throw additional services or layer additional services onto our product in order to differentiate it and create more value for the customer. Because we're guessing and we really don't understand the customer, we don't understand whether or not the customer is willing to pay for these services. And when it's time to negotiate the contract, what we find is we've put ourselves in a position where we now have to discount in order to win the business. Or even if we have the business, in order to retain the business, we find ourselves having to discount because the customer is getting used to provide, we provide these value-added services, they'll take them, but they're unwilling to pay. And so what we find here in the middle, organizations' costs are increasing, but the customer's willingness to pay is decreasing, and they're being pushed and they're being commoditized, and at the same time their margins are shrinking, and because their costs are going up and their prices are coming down. So what's important is you can play in both camps. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can play in both. What's important is that you segment your customers, and with segmentation, it's important to remember people buy who they are. So if people are cheap and they see everything as a commodity, that's how they buy. And it's very hard to educate customers like this to become focused on the end result or the transformation. And so you need to understand those customers that are transactional customers, you need to set up your operations in such a way that you can service them and sell them what they're looking for. So if they're looking for time, sell them time. And you're not expecting somebody, having spent $1.99 for a meal, 4 hours later, they're still there doing their work or treating it like it's their home office or a third office. That's not in the contract. So if you want to have a meal for $1.99 and be in and out in 15 minutes, that's great. If you want extra time there, you pay for that. So the key with the transactional business is to strip down the service to the commodity and then have these add-ons that if the customer wants them, they're going to pay for them. On the other case with the gourmet meal, we want to focus on bundling as much as possible in order to create a unique and compelling solution, working with a customer who's looking to you as a partner, because that's who they are. When they're selling to their customers, they're creating value for their customers, and they want their customers to value them as a partner. So because that's their psychology, this is how they end up treating their suppliers as well. And so you want, 20% of your customers will probably fall into this category. And so you want your best resources on these customers. And this is where you begin to break new ground and find new ways of creating value with customers that are willing to pay for that value. But at all costs, we need to avoid playing in the middle, where we're guessing, throwing all kinds of value at the customer. Customer will take it, but they want it for free. That's called the disappearing middle, and people who play in the middle, we find these companies are running into trouble.